Hello, my name is Lauren Nelson. I'm an analyst at Forrester Research. Forrester is an independent research firm that explores different technology trends. And one of those major trends that we explore today is cloud computing. A lot of organizations have heard about the hype and the imperative of moving to an internal private cloud environment, but there's little data in the market around how pervasive that actually is. Every year, Forrester conducts a survey amongst hardware decision makers in North America and Europe. And what we found in 2013 is that 33% of organizations have already adopted an internal private cloud. Another 10% are planning to adopt one in the next 12 months. When we then look at organizations' prioritization of internal private cloud, we find that 55% of enterprises consider it a high or critical priority for the next 12 months. When we start to look at how organizations are implementing internal private clouds, we see that generally it is a software-only solution that sits atop their existing resources. In fact, 46% of organizations say that that is their approach to private cloud. But when we actually start to ask organizations about how they're deploying internal private clouds today, you get different stories. A lot of organizations have different priorities. They have different resources, different budgets, and different goals for their internal private clouds. And so we've categorized these different deployments into four major categories. Category one is an enhanced virtualization environment, where their journey to cloud is enhanced virtualization. They're not planning to move forward and deploy self-service access or get to higher levels of automation anytime in the future. If that somehow happens, that is something that they might welcome in the future, but it's not within their planning phases today. They're very much looking at it from a, how do I improve my IT management of my existing virtualized environment? The second category is very much a defensive move of, my organization, my developers have gone to public cloud, and now we need to bring that back inside. We need to have an internal alternative to a public cloud environment. And so they see it as a very limited, very restricted environment that serves a need for speed. And it still has a lot of control from your cloud administrator. Very small deployment, typically under 250 virtual machines. And once those resources are ready to move from the development phase to production, it actually transitions out of that environment. The third scenario we see is very much driven by the line of business, where it's seen as a systems of engagement technology that will support your net new resources, and it's a way of enabling your developers. It's typically run by the developer on the line of business group that has the most operations experience, where essentially they are in charge of managing this relatively small environment, but for a specific use case and throughout the entire life cycle of that particular use case. And then finally, we start to see these transformational clouds, which is this fourth scenario where they're combining internal private cloud usage with a public cloud offering, where essentially they have a single self-service management portal that ties these two scenarios together into a hybrid cloud. These are few and far between today. A lot of those that have this approach are very much in that first stage of their journey to cloud. They're very much in this enhanced virtualization stage where they're trying to optimize existing systems, and they see that enablement of developers as the next step. They might be using public cloud already today, but when they are, it's very much an isolated use case. It's not connected to the same portal, very much a different type of usage today. Where we see these struggling, why we're so early in the journey for this use case, is that it takes a lot of time. They are taking their existing environment and they need to optimize it. They need to essentially standardize, automate all of their existing policies and procedures such that they can tie together their systems of record with their net new systems of engagement. Organizations are struggling with integration. They're struggling with the price points, a lot of the solutions in the market, where some of these solutions are in that $1 million+ range. And for a lot of these scenarios, that doesn't fit. That is way beyond the actual economic value that you're going to get out of an internal private cloud. When you add that additional cost on top of the per VM cost, it ends up being an astronomical fee, and it's very difficult to get ROI. So we see organizations, especially in this last phase, struggling with creating that business case, with figuring out how they are going to have an efficient environment throughout that journey, and not just in those later stages. Today, when we actually look at the market on whole, at how many of self-identified internal private cloud adopters actually have a true private cloud, it's few and far between. In fact, we find that 91% of self-proclaimed private cloud adopters fall short of the definition, where they're either falling short on self-service access, on full automation of resources, or tracking and monitoring of their resources, where they don't know what department's using those resources, they don't have self-service access for their developers, it's still a ticket-based system, and then automation of processes is just not there yet. Oftentimes, they have to have an approval process on whether that developer can have access. They need to recheck configurations rather than articulating and automating those application templates, where they're really struggling in terms of getting to that fully automated, efficient system.
Hi, I'm Oz Sultan. I'm heading up some of the marketing for Connectloud, and I'm here with Lauren Nelson, analyst from Forrester today, and Zishan Naseh, CEO of Connectloud. We'll be discussing trends emerging inside of the cloud space, as well as some concepts as to how enterprises can leverage cloud more effectively and pay attention to ROI. Lauren, why don't you give us Forrester's perspective on some of the more emerging trends in cloud today?
Sure. So today with private cloud, we typically see 4 unique scenarios starting to emerge, where the first scenario is more of an enhanced virtualization environment. Another scenario we see is more of a test dev scenario, where essentially instead of having their developers use public cloud, they're trying to bring that back in-house and be able to leverage this small private cloud environment for a test and dev specific scenario, and then transition workloads out when it's ready for production. And the third scenario, looking more as a line of business employee that's looking to essentially provide an internal private cloud that's very much for a specific workload, a greenfield application that they want run in a very dynamic infrastructure. And they think that working through their central IT team, it will be too slow, too arduous for them to go through that process. So they have a developer build this particular solution themselves. And then the final scenario is more of a transformational cloud, what we dub hybrid cloud today, where organizations are looking to connect public cloud with private cloud through a single management portal, where they're going to essentially provide optimization for their existing systems and standardize, automate all of those policies and processes, and tie that together with enablement for their developers, where their developers will have self-service access to resources. It's tying together the old and the new in a private cloud.
And Zishan, are these the same trends that you're seeing, and how does Connectloud kind of assist with what Forrester is articulating?
No, totally. I completely agree with Lauren. Very well said. That's pretty much what we are seeing for all our customer base as well. There's some customers who have virtualization deployed in the data center, and they call it private cloud. It doesn't have automation built in. It doesn't have self-service catalog capabilities. It doesn't have elastic capabilities to grow the resources dynamically. The main use case that we are seeing, which is very relevant across enterprises and the service provider that we are working with, is dev tests, application development in a very rapid fashion on a cost-effective private cloud, which is truly elastic, run by a self-service portal with business policies injected in it, so you can set up development groups and give them infrastructure from your data centers. It could be in one location or multiple locations. That's what uCloud provides.
And Lauren, what do you see as being the biggest hurdles today for driving adoption? We've seen across a variety of different industries, including governments, a need to reduce the overall cost of infrastructure. But it seems that sometimes these efforts are stymied. What is Forrester's perspective on it?
So today the top challenges we see are partially cost. So they'll purchase a solution before they look at the ROI and total cost analysis to see whether they're actually going to make ROI within the time frame they're hoping to. Where they might purchase a multi-million-dollar software solution and then try and bank on estimated cost savings from those of their peers without really thinking about whether that software solution cost is the right fit for the use case they're looking at. We also see a lot of challenges today in terms of integration, where they have to spend a significant amount of time integrating with their existing systems, but they haven't built that time into their strategy rollout.
Right.
And then finally, we find a lot of organizations also having trouble with performance, where essentially in their virtualized environment, they've isolated that workload, and now in their cloud environment, they're trying to load balance it on the same set of resources as all of their other applications, and they see a big step back in performance with their initial deployments.
Zishan, how are you guys looking to address some of these challenges?
So that's one of our key value proposition, the rapid rollout of the solution. When we are onboarding a customer, we onboard a customer and get them production ready in literally days, right? So that 1 year of systems integration and integrating solution to build out one's private cloud goes away, literally, right? Where we have a service catalog ready to go that can be customized and improved based on the customer's use cases, fully secure, role-based access, everything ready to go, right? That's what we wanted to do, because as you know, in my past life, we used to system integrate and we used to make tons of money in systems integration. But we wanted to move away from that to provide customers a cost-effective solution, an elegant and simple solution that could be rolled out, that they can use, build their applications out rapidly, and monetize.
And I mean, how does this compare against the remainder of industry in terms of cost benchmarks?
Using our technology, a customer can attain the value proposition much faster, at sometimes 1/10 of the cost.
So you're suggesting break even potentially months versus years?
Absolutely. Totally.
Lauren, what do you see as far as trends over the next 24, 36 months that are emerging that the enterprise and large corporations are going to need to pay attention to as cloud becomes more of a household word?
Sure. So one step is looking at cloud from a more pervasive standpoint, not looking at it just as we're doing internal private cloud as our cloud strategy, but taking a step back and looking at it from a SaaS, public cloud, internal private altogether.
Right.
Another key trend is going to be looking at meeting your particular use case. We're going to see more and more organizations looking at their cloud strategy not from this is what others have done, this is how we are going to try and meet our particular use case based on the popular trends done by others, but rather looking at their particular priorities, looking at the potential cost savings that they might incur, looking at what particular groups they're trying to benefit from here, looking at the technical experience of their developers.
That's very sound. I'd like to thank Lauren Nelson from Forrester and Zishan Nase from Connectloud for spending time with us today. I'm Oz Sultan, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, I'm Zishan Nase, CEO of Connectloud. Lauren from Forrester just wrapped up an interesting discussion on the cloud market today, and I would like to take a few minutes to introduce us. If you look at the enterprise IT landscape, we see that the majority of the private cloud solutions provide limited feature set and security. In addition, they can take 6 months or longer to deploy, costing IT departments time and money that cloud was supposed to save. Connectloud looks to disrupt this model with our uCloud platform. It was built from ground up to tackle today's toughest IT challenges. The uCloud platform helps businesses launch a private or public cloud in a fraction of the time and cost compared to other popular solutions. Connectloud's revolutionary technology allows us to deploy in a matter of days with security and scalability that is unprecedented within the market. In addition to our speed to market, a key benefit is the centralized management user interface. uCloud's elegant and simple user interface moves you away from the cryptic and confusing management portals. It also provides a reporting interface where top-level activities of IT operations can be simply viewed, monitored, and managed. Your entire organization can be structured by groups and users with all elements defined by roles that can be individually managed for access, quotas, and capacity limits, saving you time and money from rogue users and applications. In regards to security, uCloud never sees your data or touches your data. This is a security invention that we have pioneered, where we encrypt each end of the transmission line within your cloud. So with uCloud, you can rely on us to help stop the recent data leaks that have been plaguing companies that leverage traditional data centers and hosted infrastructure. Future forward, traditional data centers are going to lose relevance as companies are constantly challenged to improve on TCO and drive towards the bottom line. Our clients want to run services and IT in a cost-effective and efficient manner. This is a key difference we provide today. Connectloud is delivering on the promise of the cloud to reduce cost, improve return on investment, and manage infrastructure with increased security and scalability. We welcome the opportunity to share our vision and technology with you.